Thank you, Maria, and thank you all ICH Asia Pacific for your invitation to share with all of you our work, what we are doing here in Latin America. Just to briefly tell you all what is our network, what is this co-construction experience we've done all together in Latin American region. To begin with, I want to show you our first meeting. These are my colleagues and the founders of the network. It was on November 2017 in Villocampo, Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I want to mention that in that opportunity, obviously we have the support of the field office of Montevideo, and our thanks to Mrs. Lydia Brito, the director. And also we have the support for setting up the network of the International Institute of Higher Education in Latin America, the IESALC, also the Regional Center for the Safeguarding of ICH in Latin America, CRESPIAL, and the Latin American Social Science Faculty, FLACSO. Altogether, we 2 days discussion from academics and decision makers from higher education institutions of the region, carrying out cultural management programs, particularly those that include ICH in their academic programs. In that opportunity, we discussed about precisely the needs to set up a network and discuss its objectives and functioning. Just to show you briefly, a network obviously is based on the 2003 convention to reinforce ICH practices and experiences in Latin America and the Caribbean region. And here I show you the objectives we decided in that opportunity we are going to work on. First of all, promote the development of higher education in ICH in Latin America and the Caribbean through cooperation. This point is important because we think we have a lot to do on higher education to include ICH discussions, ICH knowledge. Also, another point was encourage inter and multidisciplinary actions to generate synergies between different actors committed to ICH. This is important. We believe in an inter and multidisciplinary synergies, and we work on that, focus on that point. Also share knowledge and experiences on a democratic access through the implementation of a digital platform. I will show you afterwards to you part of our platform. Foster capacities on ICH safeguarding, and in the context of promote sustainable and inclusive development. It's an issue, it's an important issue for us to link ICH safeguarding and sustainable development. Also develop joint teaching, research and extension activities on issues that had to do with had high relevance with ICH. And the last point, promote contents on ICH safeguarding in higher education agendas, specifically in cultural management training. We found that arts management, other disciplines need to know more about the importance of ICH in the context of higher education. Just to show you some activities we've done, and two very important ones in Paraguay in 2018, a meeting on cross-sectorial development of public policies. This was an important meeting organized together with the Minister of Culture of Paraguay and also the field office of Montevideo and our network. In that opportunity, the discussion was about heritage and creativity. We linked also debates on 2003 and 2005 convention and the importance of the relation between ICH and tourism and between ICH and creative industries, and also the importance of ICH safeguarding between young creators. The other meeting, the roundtable on the 14th ICH committee in Bogota, Colombia last year. And there we have the opportunity also to meet Mr. Wonomo Park from the network from Asia Pacific. And we discussed about the links between universities and ICH, also with the participation of Susan Schnutgen from Capacity Development and Heritage Policy from UNESCO. It was really a very important meeting where we can exchange our points of view about what is the importance of improving the knowledge and the learning and teaching of ICH in the context of higher education. About one of your questions about the impact of COVID-19, we want to mention these two issues. First of all, what happened in higher education, in a higher education context with the impact, with the COVID impact. Well, as it also Christina said, new challenges drive contingency policies. We have to cancel activities, on-site activities, and migrate all pedagogical processes to virtual, to digital platforms, and also boosting of online meetings and activities. There has been a strong demand for immediate pedagogical innovation, priority with to teachers, and all our universities had to work on digital platforms. The suspension and cancellation of some research activities, extension programs, and collective practices. This point, collective practices, is very important for academics and professors, because many of the ICH research have to do with on-site activities. But the point I want to mention especially is the digital gap, because we found this is the main obstacle to overcome. In Latin America, well, my colleague Mapara has mentioned precisely this obstacle, the digital gap. No, we have to find solutions to this. And in terms of the network, of our network, we have at the beginning of the constitution of the setting up of a network, we have made a cyber infrastructure, and we have a platform, and digital platform, and that made possible the continuity of decision-making, network management, and members' participation. Actually, through the virtual platform provided by the Argentinian National Scientific and Technical Research Council, CONICET, we are working on asynchronous activities and synchronous activities through online tools provided by the CRESPIAL. Here you have an image of our collaborative environment, and well, we are in Argentina, and these are an image of tango music, and that is, you see there, the music instrument for tango music, the bandoneon, just to know. And here you have the link of our platform. What we think are the challenges of our network, and just to mention this four, we think we have to search and work on new alliances, on regional academic networks for South-South cooperation and interregional exchange. That it's a very important issue. We are working on and we have to work on, and this webinar gives us the opportunity to exchange our experiences, and we are sure we will continue in this alliance with all of you. And also develop methodological frameworks based on local demands and urgencies. This is a point I want to mention, especially because we think as ICH as a complex cultural object with an work emphasize on it from a decolonial and transdisciplinary perspective. Mirva has said at the beginning, mentioned something about our Latin point of view, and this is the point. We are discussing about ICH and about preconcepts on ICH. Sometimes it has been seen as a tourist or folk vision, and we are worried about it because we think ICH needs to be discussed. We need to discuss here in Latin America the Eurocentric and traditional conception of ICH and the importance of bearers of ICH. And as Mirva said also, we are sure that ICH improves higher education and brings us other ways of thinking. That's why we address ICH as one of the most important points, and we need to work on this decolonial and transdisciplinary perspective. Also highlight ICH in the 2030 agenda through innovative alliances with governmental and cultural institutions, international organizations, inter-university networks, and also the chairs, international chairs, UNESCO chairs. We're sure have to do a lot with these issues and to work together. And also I want to mention our interest, and we are working with the Ibero-American cultural space because it's another multilateral space that we think we have to do all the discussions about the importance of ICH and exchange our works. And well, of course, collaboration with the Secretariat at UNESCO Paris, the field offices, in our case with Montevideo field office, and the importance of working together with Category 2 centers, especially in Latin American region, the CRESPIA. I show you here are some of our colleagues and the countries we belong to. To also to what we are working on today, this is a very important interinstitutional activity within the framework of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, especially focused on the 17th SDG goal. This is an oriented research project integrated by 20 senior academics from these countries: Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Chile, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Uruguay. What the project works on while collecting activities and programs implemented by different communities, governments, and local actors that stand out for the value of the role of ICH as a vector of social inclusion. This is what I meant before about our point of view and the decolonial perspective. Also developing theoretical and methodological guidelines for a multidimensional analysis of ICH practices, and the drafting of a policy brief supporting decision-making in the Latin American region. We think that this project will give us the opportunity to produce research and knowledge, and to help the decision makers to include ICH, the importance of ICH and ICH policies in the public policies, in cultural, specifically in cultural public policies. And the main goals of this activity are to generate evidence showcasing the ICH role in the development agenda, strengthen links between the academia and decision-making, as well as within the academic world in the post-COVID-19 context. As you know, we have found that in the academic world, the ICH knowledge is dispersed in many disciplines. We find it in anthropology, in arts management, in history, in environmental studies, and we think that there is a link inside the academic work we have to do, trying to focus on the importance of ICH and the ICH in higher education, and develop conceptual and methodological categories for approaching sustainability of community practices as in ICH as social inclusion vector. We think that community practices had a lot to bring to our research, and we have to, obviously we have to work together strongly. And also, finally, provide decision makers with guidelines for implementing ICH-oriented public policies in the framework of COVID-19 palliative measures. We think it is expected also to produce a publication with all this project results, and we think that we have a lot of work to do, and it's important to foster our networks and work together because of this after the pandemic, COVID-19, at least in Latin America, we have to think, we are thinking today, and how to link together healthcare, gender, food security, social inclusion, and also resolve inequalities. And as I said previously, to solve the digital gap, to make possible to all students and academics, experts and researchers to work together and to have the possibility, we have to continue for a long time on this new pedagogical scenario on virtual platforms. We need to solve previous problems we have here in the Latin American region. I think my colleagues have said all regions are different. We have all of us different problems. We have to improve, and in our region, ICH living heritage is a very important issue and has to be shown to the higher education community in all its importance. Thank you, and thank you very much for sharing with all of you this presentation.